Roger, go.
Brad, obviously hugely emotional night for Brisbane, and I'm sure you wouldn't want to take anything away from them, but from your point of view, where was it lost tonight?
You don't know the answer to that?
I'm asking you.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a rhetorical question. The second quarter, I think it was 5 stoppage goals, 7 goals to 1. After the game should have been largely over at quarter time, such was our domination, and it's a challenge we've got to overcome, because whether it was we were complacent, we thought we dominated the start of the game and thought it was just going to roll on, and we weren't prepared to work for it, because we worked for it in the first quarter and didn't capitalise. But it's a lesson for our guys that nothing comes easily in this competition. You've got to work for it, and when you stop working, you get exposed. So Brisbane kicked over half their score in one quarter, and we completely lost structure and organisation, and so it's bitterly disappointing.
So Brad, how much is it about mindset, keeping in mind that the opponent tonight managed just 3 goals in an entire match last week? Every game's different, Sam. I mean, it's not, you play in Perth in teeming rain versus the Gabba, that pretty quick sort of game, and so I mean, you don't compare one week to the next, in my view. But it's pretty simple. I mean, we lost, and our players know. We addressed it in the second half, and funnily enough, things got a lot better. But our players know what happened. Around 5 goals from stoppages, just completely unacceptable, disorganised, embarrassing.
Did you feel like you were going to run over the top of them late there, Brad? That you seemed to have a lot of the ball, a lot of momentum in the bowling minutes.
Yeah, and I would have been just as annoyed and upset and angry as I am now if we'd won, because we didn't deserve to, because good teams don't do what we did in the second quarter. So, I mean, we had the ball in our forward half, I think 83% in the last 10 minutes. So, you've got enough. We had enough opportunity, missed some pretty gettable shots or didn't take shots, and but credit to Brisbane, they outplayed us in the second quarter, and they look quick tonight. I mean, they look good. That Green and Zorko and Taylor were big focuses coming in, and they were all pretty influential. Hanley completely got away from us in the second quarter as well.
You used the word embarrassing, and you've been on the precipice, and everyone's been talking about the fact that you're on the verge of being in the top 4. Where do you actually rank your team?
About 7th or 8th. But top 4 is just fantasy land stuff. I mean, I don't worry about that anyway. I mean, honestly, top 4 would be great. It'd be great to finish in the top 4, but you don't want to get bundled out in straight sets because you're just not up to it. And at the moment, we're not playing footy that's worthy of playing the top 4. Our challenge is for the rest of the year is to play good enough footy to be a worthy top 4 contender. And right at the moment, we're nowhere near that.
You had good individual performances from some of your leaders tonight, Petrie and Swallow, obviously, but is there a collective failure of leadership on the ground in instances like that second quarter?
It's a hard question to answer, because a lot of our leaders did stand up, but this is such a footy now more than it's ever been in its history as a team game, and I talk about structure and organisation. You're talking about one position being wrong, and you get opened up. And it does happen at times, and your leaders try and get it organised again. When it happens 7 times, that's disastrous. Look, and it's all's not lost, because to their credit, they sorted it out in the second half and outplayed Brisbane again. So you look for 3 quarters, it's okay, but this is why we're not a worthy top 4 contender.
Brad, what do you have to do to minimise the damage in those quarters that get away from you like that?
Be organised. Stoppage goals kill you. So I mean, we have the chance to get organised and get set up. We didn't. Then there's multiple goals. You've got choices, and we chose to try and keep attacking to get back into the game, rather than just minimise the damage and lose by a little.
Brad, you went and spoke to Tom Rockcliffe after the match. What did you say to him?
I spoke to a couple of Brisbane players, Joel Patfull, who I know, and Tom Rockcliffe, and congratulated them on their win.
so you weren't challenging them in any way? Because Brent Harvey and Tom Rockcliffe had a tense-looking exchange as well post-match. Does not to do with that?
Yeah, I think that's a question that you could ask Tom. I mean, my take on it is that there's humble in victory and gracious in defeat, and you'd have to ask Tom that question. You know, so, but I mean, I'm a coach. I'm not out in the field of battle, so it's up to. I don't know exactly what was exchanged, so that's a question for him to answer, I reckon.
Did you approach Tom to congratulate him or to take him to task?
I spoke to a number of Brisbane players, Piers Hanley, Joel Patfull, tried to get to Ash McGrath, Jonathan Brown, and that was it.
How's Zeeble? Brad, is he went off in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, it's really hard to tell. I mean, the fact that he came back on is pretty positive. He looked like he was moving okay. So I'd be really disappointed if our medical staff put him back on when he wasn't right, because that was the clear directive, that if he wasn't right, don't risk him.
And Lockie Hansen, what was he out for, bro?
Lockie's just had, he's been battling with a little bit of soreness for a couple of weeks. You know, when the forecast, you know, came in, we thought we'd take the opportunity to get that injury right, because he's been battling with it for too long.
You talk about work rate and effort earlier. Is this the kind of result that makes you want to actually radically change up a mix?
No, I don't think radically. I think the foundation is okay, but the foundation's not enough. You need good sides. You know, watch Hawthorn play today, and they're missing a few players, but the players that come in and do the job. At the moment, we're not solid enough through the 22. So if there are changes, they come probably from the perimeter rather than wholesale changes.
Thanks, Al.
Thanks.